G'day everyone, James here with JWN Lawn Care and Landscaping, bringing you another video. Going on YouTube. I am out here in Laverton in the middle of bloody nowhere, which took us a blue age to get here, but I'm out with Paul, who is showing my dad some bushranger stuff, and what's that? What's that? Hello. Yeah. So in case you didn't know and you're in the USA, Australia now has Spartan mowers, except these are branded under bushranger, which is, I guess, I don't think they're sold overseas, but this is like a Aussie company. They're new to the market. They're bringing out, they've got all their blue stuff over there, so they're using a variety of different things, and they've worked with Spartan to make the bushranger Spartan. So this is the GT track, and they've got a whole range out, but Paul kindly brought a couple of these out here because, as you would know, I'm looking for a new zero turn. Well, what's going to happen to the 42 nank? I'm still going to keep the 42, and I hear a plane, and I cannot see a plane. That makes me sad. I'm still keeping the 42, but now I'm starting to pick up some bigger properties, more vacant blocks, more large properties kind of outer suburbs. I'm seeing one of these as being more viable for what I'm doing, because I'm doing a lot of long grass, and the Victa gets through it, but you'd have seen in my videos, it struggles. So these two are, well, that's a 61 and that's a 60, but they've got 54s inside, and we're going to have a look in there a little bit later. I've just ridden these two. I've got a motor bit of grass with them, and they are awesome, both of them. So this, the GT Track 61, this is kind of one of the top end ones. Oh yes, this is the RTHD. I think this might be, yeah, one of the top of the line. And so you got nice engraving there, and this has the Kawasaki FX850V EFI, which is very nice. They've put a few little interesting bits and pieces on it. You've got easily adjustable handlebars here, which are nice. You've got a bit of a Kubota style park brake there, and a bit of a Kubota style deck lift. Very nice. That's like a really well made seat. That's nice as. I really like that, guys. ROPS inside the machine, compared to if you see the Hustler, it sticks out. Now that's something I've been talking about a fair bit, because when it sticks out, it can hit stuff, it can hit your trailer. It's easier, I think, if it's flush, and that's what I like about this machine as opposed to that one. Nice flip up chute, massive opening, which is what I'm looking for, and just look at that deck, like that is just built really heavy duty. It's got electronic startup, so you've got your little key codey thing, and it's also got all your warning systems. So say I jump on here, right, and I go in and I put in my code. So I put in my code, right, so it's got the green light, which means I can start the machine up. If I get off the seat, you see it shows I can't start it because the operator's not in there. If the PCO's on, shows up, you need to turn the PCO off. The parking brake isn't on, right? So you can't start the machine unless all these things are alright. So you want no lights on here, alright? What's that for? Oh, neutral. So if your handlebars are in, won't let you start either. It's got soft start, blade engagement. I didn't use that though. I still do kind of half to 3/4 throttle. But it does come on. I will say it does come on quite a bit smoother. You know, it kind of eases it in, as opposed to, you know, your regular electric clutch on something like a Hustler or a Toro. Now you've got all your different maintenance and everything. You've also got, for those who choose a hydraulic lift deck, or electronic lift deck, you've got your mower deck button here, already built in. Height, very simple. Set it to say 2 inches. And it comes down really smooth. I do like that. You know, that's something I quite like. It's not very heavy, and it's really well sprung. So this is, even though it's a 61-inch deck, you can hear that. I think it's a spring system thing, but it's very light. So you've got all the way from, what's that, 5.25 inches down to 1 inch, I guess. Yeah, which for here in Australia is a very good height. So you might be saying in the US, oh, you know, Spartan mowers are bad and everything. I have seen some not so great feedback on them in the US, but these ones, I think Paul said these were out for about 3 years before they were actually released to the public. And they were sending them to contractors completely unbranded and everything, just saying thrash them, right? Put them through everything you can and write a little review report thing for us at the end of each day for how you went and how the machine performed, what needs to be changed and everything. So this machine, even though it's branded as Spartan, is actually has kind of been custom made for Australian conditions, which is really good, because often we do have things a bit differently here. You know, we cut lower, we have some different grass types, so there are a number of things that need to be changed when you bring a machine over from the USA. But that is a really good machine. Then we get to the Super Z. I'm in love with this thing. Okay, like 22 k's an hour of ground speed, FX850V. So these are the same engine, both 27 horsepower. It's just this one's carbureted and that one is EFI. This one's also got an extra fan for the hydros as well. It's got the kind of more beefed up hydros. You hear them whining away. It's awesome. The ground speed on this thing is fantastic. And the difference is with a lot of machines, when you're cutting, you might have your transport speed, they'll say. So it might be, I don't know, let's say this machine has a transport speed of 19 kilometers an hour, but your maximum kind of effective cutting speed is only 16. On this machine, your transport speed, 22. Your cut speed, 22. I was mowing at 22 kilometers an hour on this thing and it cut perfectly. Okay, massive discharge opening, really nice pin height adjust. I like this. This is what I'm used to. And as the same thing on the other one, really easy. And that goes down, like if I let that go, it doesn't just smash down like on the Husqvarna I used not long ago, which you'll see the video of as well. It lets itself down really nicely. This one has an automatic parking brake, which I really like, and everything in here is adjustable. So you can see it's pretty stiff to get those handles in and out. That stiffness is adjustable, so you can have it really loose or you can have it really tight. The travel on these, you can adjust the height, you can adjust, like, everything's adjustable. That one's got about a 38 litre tank on the left side, I forgot to say. This one's got dual, I think 20 something litre tanks. So you got about 44 litres of fuel. I like your fuel gauge here. Okay, so that shows your hours, only 1.5 hours. And it shows your fuel dial there too. You know, PCO choke, everything else. And the seat on this, you can adjust it to your weight. So you're actually able to, if you're less heavy, you can adjust it, or more heavy, you know, it all adjusts the seat. So now, you know, you got a bit of a different ride. And the same thing with that one underneath, actually, I'll show you quickly. There is on this, it's underneath, but it's there, and it's in pounds. So I don't know how that's going to go for Australia, but it's there at least, you know. Alright, so if we open this up, you got suspension things there, and you can just reach under and unscrew those bits there, and you can adjust these depending on your pounds. So I mean, we don't use pounds, we use kilograms, so they might need to change that, but you can change that for your weight on this one as well. And there's your nice little motors there. I'm trying to figure out the soft start system, but yeah, so you can adjust it around, and that works pretty well too. This machine, what I love about it is they're built, you know, they don't take shit, right? These are built for cutting grass. Some mowers, they're built to be pretty, they're built to be good looking. This machine, they said, let's keep it rudimentary. Let's just make it a really good grass cutting machine. And you know what? It's a really good grass cutting machine, okay? What I might do is I'll actually, even though I've cut, I'll take it down another notch. What were we at before? We were cutting at 3 inches. I'll take it down to 2.5. So it's a pretty easy system. It's a little bit different because mine's got all the heights on there, but it's certainly a step different from the old Super Z system, which was you had a pin and you could switch it around, and that would be your height adjustment. I actually think this one's a bit better. So you go from 5.5 inches down to 1, so pretty much the same as on the Spartan, and that's what we need here in Australia. We need those kind of low and cutting heights. A lot of mine are like 2.5 inches and down, because that's what people want, so that's what we have to cut at. That goes down to there. Not bad. So what I might do is I'll take this machine over to that bit of grass over there, and I'll quickly show you a bit of cutting on. Hopefully it'll you know, show you a bit more of the dispersal, because I've lowered it down. I was cutting at 3, and you'll see the speed in this thing as well. I'll go flat chat on a bit of it, and the ride on it as well is awesome. So I'll take it over and we'll go from there. So you can see I cut this bit at 3, so we're going to cut at 2.5. It's pretty wispy grass. It's so dry here in Australia at the moment. Half the bloody place is on fire. You can sort of see some of the smoke, blah blah blah. Anyhow, so this is just pretty rudimentary. It's just wispy grass and leaves basically, and a few little bits of rubbish and stuff. But I want to show you how well this machine cuts at speed. Okay, it's a bit loud. I don't have my ear muffs with me. I should have brought all my stuff, but I didn't realise I'd be mowing with these things. So do excuse me for that for the moment. It is only for a couple of minutes. It's all right. I'm not doing it for the whole day. You can't run these machines all day without ear protection. It's too loud. But for the couple of minutes, I'm all right with that. So let's get mowing. Okay, so hopefully you can see how fast I was going. I know it's not perfect. I couldn't really see where I cut and where I hadn't, because I'd already cut it once before. I was only taking an extra little bit off, but that's a pretty clean cut, right? It's mulching stuff up pretty fine, and really, I know it's nothing super special, but here in Australia, all we care about is making long grass short, right? And it's done that pretty well. So what I'm going to do now, here's the other thing, the curb test. So this one, because of that bumper it's got there, which is actually pretty smart because it stops you from, but that one sits a bit lower than the Spartan at the back. So I can sometimes struggle a little bit with getting up curbs like this. I chose to go here because I have all this leaves and stuff packed up, and that sometimes helps a little bit getting up. But let's see how the Spartan does with that. It did pretty well when I mowed this part here. But that's something you have to think about, right? Because sometimes you are going to have to go up a curb to get onto the lawn. Now, granted, this is a bit of a high one. Most of our curbs aren't this high. Most of ours sit about there. So you got about an extra that much on it, but still, you know. Let's get the Spartan, and we'll do a bit of comparison, right? So this is the Spartan RC HD. Oh, what's that? 852cc FI. I'm gonna go flat chat on this one as well, and we'll see how she goes. I'm gonna get my car mow a bit more of this side of things. So hopefully you can see it all right. Let's go. Done from dust, but flat chat on that one I was going, and that cut pretty damn good too. So same thing, really good cut. I think I hit a stick somewhere over there, but these mowers, they're built to take shit like that, and you can see it's a bit higher up at the rear here compared to the Super Z, which does help things. You've also got a hitch option there, I forgot to mention. So that does help, that extra bit of ground clearance there that the Super Z doesn't have. Does help with getting up these curves. Like this one goes up at like no tomorrow. The other one's a bit more difficult. So, you know, this is a great machine. Really nice and comfortable, even when you're going fast. when you've got a fast machine, you do need a really good seat. And that's one of the things that the Husqvarna PZT54 didn't really impress me about. Was like, I mean, even then, it was pretty slow for its size and its power. But even then, it had reasonable speed, but it was nothing like these. I think it's like 14, 15 k's an hour. This one goes 18. Excuse me. And the Super Z goes 22. The Hyperdrive model goes 26. So 22 is like, whew, I can't even imagine a Hyperdrive. But this machine really is about comparable with the X154, which I'm looking at. It's got the same size engine. It's got similar, well actually the X1 has more fuel capacity. It's got about the same speed. So I'm hopefully going to have a look at the next one inside soon. But yeah, that did pretty good. I hope you'd notice between the two of those, the Hustler clutch is a lot more instantaneous. A lot more instantaneous. This one, you can hear it kind of, and then it would go in. As I said before, for me, I don't really consider that because I always engage my blades at a lower throttle anyhow. But I guess if you're a council guy and you've got people who don't know what they're doing and they're slamming the blades on at full blast all the time, maybe that will help. To me, bringing the clutch in slowly is pretty much just as bad as doing it fast. Like, it doesn't really make a difference. You're still having the engine, the clutch and the belt trying to pick up the engine res, you know, at the same rate rather than, you know, a lower throttle. Sorry, the camera keeps falling. So, yeah, but this machine is really good. A couple of other points, I'll turn it off quickly. A couple of other points to consider is this one does have the keyless start as opposed to key. Personally, I think a key start, one less thing to go wrong. Like my neighbour Chris, I've been working with a bit. He's got a 42-inch Toro. It's done like 2,000 hours. And he starts his with a goddamn screwdriver, you know. I don't even think he has the key anymore. Well, he wouldn't, otherwise he'd use the key, not the screwdriver. Whereas this, you can't do that if your thing breaks or you lose it, you know. Like if that breaks, you gotta repair it. If your key gets lost or whatever, you can still get around things, right? I do like how it's got the port for 12 volt, so you can put a light on, because that's something I would want to do on this. I want to be putting a like warning light on for some of the commercials we do and stuff, and also fit an advanced chute system to it because they're in Australia now too. I'm now actually debating, though I haven't seen the 60 and 61-inch machines. Do I just excuse me, do I just go the extra few inches and get a 61 anyhow if it's not much of a difference in cost? Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know in the comments what you think about this machine versus a Hustler from what you just saw. Personally, we're going to do a bit of a field demo with him. He's going to bring a couple of these out, the ones that I like and I'm really keen on. And we're going to try them on some of my jobs, which will be really good, because then I can get a proper idea of how they work in the field rather than just here where there's not much growth. The other benefit of getting a Bush Ranger is because Rob, up the road at Ashburton Mowers, my main dealer where I get all my Stihl stuff from, is a Bush Ranger dealer. He can get parts for this machine. He could order them in from these guys here. Whereas if I got the Hustler, I'd have to go to another shop, another dealership to get them. Not that much of an inconvenience, but it is a little bit out of the road. So that's another thing I'm weighing up too. Do I, do I keep everything in the one shop, or do I have, a separate shop? Because to be honest, when I think about it, Rob's not that well equipped to deal with ride-ons anyhow, and he's said multiple times to me he doesn't really like servicing them anyhow, especially big ones, because he's got a pretty small shop, so there's not very much space, as it is, let alone for a huge thing like this. He probably doesn't want one of these in there, whereas a lot of the big dealerships, they're equipped for these sort of machines. They sell and service zero turns, so I'm wondering whether that is a better option. The other advantage I have is the company I'm going to be buying one of these through, gets a fleet discount from Hustler, so I can get it even cheaper. And yeah, that's about all I've got. Far out, this is so much fun. I'm going to try and go have a look at a Toro after here as well. But anyhow, let's get back to the folks all the way down there. That's what we got. Pretty good, eh? Let's go maybe have a look inside, see what they got. This is where GA Spares is as well for any Australian guys. Their warehouse here too. And these guys have warehouses all across the country, so they're able to get spare parts to people really quick, which is a really important consideration, because with my Victa, getting spare parts to that, because it's not so much of a big brand machine, trying to get parts in for it is really hard. So I need something I can have parts for really quickly and get back up and running, because especially with a machine this big, okay? So even the X154 here in Australia retails for just under $19,000. It's not a trivial expense. This one I think is about 2021, and the Hustler Super Z is the same. In fact, I think the Super Z's 22. They're not cheap at all here. Our conversion rates and everything have gone just down a hole. So, you know, if you want to buy one of these, you want to make sure that you're getting the perfect machine for what you do, because otherwise you've made an extremely expensive mistake. Anyhow, that's it. Back to those folks, and we'll keep going there. So, we're inside. It's nice and cool. And this is the dispatch. So when you order a mower, it's going to come from one of these warehouses all around the country, and it's going to be semi-assembled, and then it's going to be shipped out to your dealer, and they're going to sell it to you. They've got spare parts, everything. Bush Rangers down there. Hello Paul, hello Dad. And then you've got all GA spare parts here as well. So any spares, all the guys will go around and pick out the parts and then ship them out. And this is hustler heaven over here. So we've got Raptors, more Raptors, Fast Tracks, S1s, Super Zs, and then they've also got a few big dogs over there, but they're being discontinued in Australia because they're changing a bit. Shh, you didn't hear that. So that's the X1 there that I'll be getting. So this is how your dealer gets your machine. So this is a Raptor SD54, and this is how it comes to them. And then they put the seat on, and they'll put the, you know, obviously take the wrapping off, put the handlebars on properly, and then sell it to you. And they do a whole pre-service thing. And this is how it comes to, you know, from the factory. This is a factory machine. So this is the X1 that I'll be getting. So it's basically the same as the Super Z. It's got the same deck, it's got the same chair, it's got the same engine, same deck height system. It's a 72 Super Z, I believe. So, you know, and then you just go smaller from here. So Raptor SDs, and you can see these I won't really bother with. And then you've also got your Spartans. So these are all the different Spartan models that are also available. So you've got some different ones here. I think this is the same as what I was just using, sort of. RZ Pro. And then what's this one? RZ HD. So you can see, the one thing I've been interested in, these ones have different engines. So the highest, you have to get really high spec Spartan mowers to get the FX series Kawasaki, the commercial engine. Most of their others, RZ Pro, FR engine. I'm not super keen on that, but it's not too big. Nice looking cup holder. Yeah, so there's SRT XD. In fact, I think that's the biggest one you can get. Yeah, look at that. Wow, that's huge. FX1000V Kawasaki. So yeah, that's the biggest machine you can get. That's enormous. And they've got very, oh, what's that? Oh, it might be like a little display thing. Yeah, it's cool. That's RZ Pro. So a lot of these have the yeah, the FR or FS engines. I don't know how I feel about that particularly, but especially the FS, still a commercially rated engine, right? It's got a commercial warranty, so you can't complain really. RT Pro. What we got back there? Then we got some other hand tools. So this is Bush Ranger hand tools, right? So that's an L2601 trimmer, MT2601. That's their multi-tool. That's their different little handhelds, and they're quite good. They're I'm really liking them. But so this is a bit of a, yeah, bit of a shared space. I guess between, well, it's all under the one company, GA Spares and then Power Up Lawn Care. This is huge though, absolutely huge. If you look at how many different bits and pieces there are in here, like these guys work tirelessly. I love it, tirelessly. Yeah, this is awesome. So I guess we better get going. Oh, here's a little mini hydro. So label up all these things and then they ship them out as needed. So these guys are loading boxes and they put things where they're needed. So this is one of the bigger warehouses. They've also got one bigger than this in Brisbane, and in, yeah, so much stuff. So if I buy one of these Spartans or a Hustler, it's going to come from here. It's probably going to be that one over there. They take it off, they ship it to the dealer, they assemble it, and then it's ready for me, which I'll be a very happy man because then I get to jump on it and away we go. So, you know, this is the Hustler heaven for me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.